Hello, so today we're gonna install an infotainment in the 4Runner. I'm gonna show you guys what I have right now as my system, but I'm gonna change it to a 14-inch Android device. So let me switch this. Alright, so this is my system right now. I have my radio, which currently right now I have another device connected to it, which is this one right here. Car kit will allow me to watch Netflix and have be able to play videos in the right here on the screen. So that's the system right now. So I'm going to change it to this other infotainment system, which is going to require to remove all this area. So I'm going to work on that. Also, because I'm going to do that, there's no need for me to have my iPad in here anymore. This setup was able to have my iPad Pro in here, which is much bigger than this. It will accommodate that, so I will have my other things in here. But with the new system, I'm hoping I can remove the iPad, remove this area, and have a bigger screen in here. And I'm gonna show you guys how it look. All right. Okay, so here's the system. You guys can see is the mark is Firstnav. It's a 14.6-inch Android stereo. We're gonna do an open the box, see what's in the box and what's going to have inside. All right, so there you have some of the instructions. That tells you basically what you need to do. Apparently it's like 20 steps. It works for Toyota 4Runner for 5th generation. Instructions where you need to connect, so I don't expect to be difficult. You can connect all the devices to it. You also have the option to do a SIM card. I want to see if I can test all that. All right, a user manual. All right, pretty good. So this is what's in the box. Cables, adapters. More cables. More cables. All right, we'll see how everything connects. This is the radio. All right. So tools, zip ties, and this I think is the microphone. More connections, adapters. And then you have the satellite, the antenna, USB extensions. All right. So this is the part that you have to replace. It's gonna move the AC vents from the top on the 4Runner that usually go right here. It's gonna move it to the bottom. All right, we're gonna see how this goes. It's a bracket for attachment, and this is how you move the AC vents from the top to the bottom. All right. Hope it does not leaks when it goes to that. Alright, then that's pretty much it. Everything in the box. Now the bracket. Alright, so we're just gonna go through the steps and see what we need to do to get this infotainment installed in the 4Runner. Alright, so now it's a little bit more organized as everything that we have in the box. I keep everything with the number. Just in case, through the instructions and tells me what needs to be connected with what. So this is what we have. We have 3 sets of this with those little boxes. We have another set of cables in here. We have the 2 AC docked adapter that is going to change the flow. Tools, some brackets in here, there's some screws in there. We have the manual. We have, and right here it tells you what everything is. So see, number one is our 4G antenna. This right here, we have a GPS. This right here, this is our GPS. Then we have 2 USBs right here, 1 and 2. Cable to connect auxiliary, I believe. Then we have a couple other pieces in here. Alright, so this one is an auxiliary cable. This one I'm sure is just to connect. But that's pretty much what we have in here. Right here in this part, this is what is going to change the phase of the radio, and also has those connections in the back. I believe this is going to be the ones connected into the top part, which is going to be your hazard lights, and all those other things. All right, and here's the screen. All right, so let's see. This thing is massive. I hope it doesn't block any view, but as you guys can see, that's the screen. Alright, this is where we connect all the things. Alright, so antenna, radio, 4G, GPS, optical, USB-C right there. Has power. Alright, so this is when it's going to be connected to the card. I'm going to jump into do a quick video of removing the radio. So this is the styles, 2010, 2013, 2010, 2013. So, and I'm guessing this is the connections that I was looking into the bags. So that's where those adapters are. The one that we have is this one, 2023, for my 4Runner. So that's a adapter that I could need to use to connect everything. All right, so we're gonna start with removing, the first steps that we have, and all the way up to pretty much part 5, 6, which is disconnect everything, remove the clock, and then we're gonna start to make the changes. All right, so we're gonna go from step 1 to 7, switching to the card to remove the radio, and we're gonna go from there. Okay, so to remove the radio, you have to remove these 2 sides. They only have clips, so if you actually grab it from the bottom and the top and start pulling it, they come up. See, those are the clips that they have. They also tell you they have a side. All right. This other one, I just pull it a little bit on the top part of it already, make it easier, and then just wiggle a little bit, and it comes out. Yeah. As you guys can see, this one just kind of got stuck in there. I just have to remove it. Apparently the L doesn't mean anything. Both have the L. So, but if you guys can see here on the top, it will tell you. Then the only thing you need to remove this, by removing the 10mm bolt, you can remove this part. To remove this part right here, you just have to kind of grab it and pull it. It comes out, and then if you guys want, you can disconnect it. I'm gonna disconnect it for now and remove it, just because I want nothing to be in my way. Alright, there's just pinch and clip. This have those little 2 things that you have to press on each side, and it will come out of the little angle. Alright, so then you guys can see, you guys have 4 10mm also, they need to be removed. Once you remove those, the radio come up. All right. So. Those. Alright, so I'm gonna remove those and just show you guys when I pull the radio. Okay, so I removed the 4 bolts. This should just come up by putting some force. There we go. So as you guys can see, it's removed, and at that point the only thing that we need to do is just disconnect the things in the back. As you guys can see it right there, just disconnect everything from the radio, and we should be okay. All right, I'll be right back. Okay, so I disconnect everything from there, and then basically what you have to do is just kind of pinch those little connectors in here and start removing them. This one right here is the one for the parking or emergency lights. It also connects to this side right here. So if you disconnect that one, we'll disconnect that. All right, so the whole unit is off. We're gonna start plugging in the adapters and the other things for the new unit, and let's see how it looks. Okay, so I was looking through what do I need to plug in and all those other things. For this specific 4Runner for the 2020, you have to use these adapters, which is the KB047-1. Those are the ones that's gonna match the plugs in here to connect. Also, as part of the instructions, because if you don't need it anymore, the clogged part is gonna be removed. So 2 screws, Phillips is gonna remove that, and then this part is gonna go right there. All right, well, we have to make a couple changes first, which is the AC vents, redirect them to the bottom. All right, so we're gonna start the process, and I'll show you guys how it goes. Okay, remove the 2 screws, Phillips screws. This should be able to come off. There we go. Disconnect from there, just a little pinch. Okay, well, there we go. Disconnect, plug is out. So my connection, my radio has a different connections. It's because I have a front camera and a rear camera. So if you guys can see here, which the rear camera is basically I'm tapping into the camera for the vehicle when I put in reverse, and I can see who's behind me now. But I made it to a switch. You guys can see a video that I have and how to do that. So that's what I have, those additional connectors, which right here, and that's how they switch. But basically these ones are the factory ones, which kind of connects to those. All right, the next step is redirect the AC vent to the bottom, and then we're gonna start connecting this kit to start plugging the brackets for the radio, and then everything else. All right, so to install the AC vent adapters, what you have to do is kind of put them in place like that. All right, but then you have to pull this, and then you don't be afraid, put it a little bit harder, and then kind of push these things up. There we go. Okay, once you pull it up like that, this for the screw, the other one is the guy for the little pin. They're gonna fit right here, like this one right here. You guys can see it fits. Make sure this punch goes inside the AC vent canal, and they can direct it to the bottom. And this is where the other screw is gonna go on the bottom. The cables, I just tuck them in the back. That way that then after this I can pull them out and start connecting everything. That way I don't have too many cables when I was trying to do this, because I didn't know exactly what to expect. But this is basically what you have to do. And then as you guys can see, kind of fits in there. I just have to make sure push this punch in before I secure it. And then you have the 2 AC vents already routed to the bottom. And then start connecting this. There is a couple other things that we need to do, which is connect the antenna, the GPS and all those things. So those have to run from the back. That's why I don't want to secure this one yet. They have to run through the back. Some of them have run it through here. That way you can put it here on the top. So we're gonna go through all those steps to run those cables. All right. Okay, so I was looking through the connections and the cables that I need for this setup, right? I can mention to you guys before, this is the GPS antenna. So the GPS antenna, basically what we need to do is run it from here out all the way up and kind of install it up, and then kind of attach it somewhere in here so it can get the GPS antenna. Same thing with the 4G antenna. And run it the same way and put it somewhere up there. This is just the several connections that we have for the radio. That's one. This is another one where you have, this is where you actually got the SIM card. You slide it a little bit to one of the sides. There you go. Then you open it. That's where you put your SIM card. This is another adapter that you have to connect into the radio, right and left. This one in here, I forgot to mention, this is also for if you have a system in your card. This is for the microphone. The black one is for the microphone, but this you got a system in your card. And you have 2 USB connectors. So basically you can connect the device to the vehicle and act like for Android and CarPlay. And this is a regular USB. So those are the cables that we need to connect. With these cables, they come in the packet, the KB047. So I'm gonna start running the cables and connect all that stuff, and I'll get back. All right, so before I continue running any cables, I wanted just to make sure I got a clear view of what do I need to do. So here it tells you, for my specific vehicle, which is the 2020 to 2023, use the set or the adapter KB047-1, which is this one right here, and also tells you that is I sewed the right here. All right, so for each vehicle is gonna have different sets, and depending on what year. So for this specific one is 2023, so it tells you what it needs to connect. And I want to just run through a quick connecting here. Just to make sure, right? So these red ones are for, one is for the 4G and the other one is for the GPS. So this is the 4G, this one right here. So and basically what you need to do is just kind of align it with, align it, and then just kind of turn it around and screw it in, right? So then it's gonna go this one right here and screw it, right? That's how you have your 4G and your antenna. And then you have all these other cables, right? So this is what I sewed. This is the cable that's gonna connect here to the power. You guys can see in here it says power. So that's the one that fits there. Good. Plug them in. All right, you hit the clip, it's all done. And then, you have these two things. Everything else is gonna connect from here. This is the wireless. Then you have your cables. This is your radio. Right, so it's gonna go there. Plugged in. There we go. That's where your car is gonna connect to this. Then you have another plug here, and that's it. This is gonna connect to this the Wi-Fi for the CarPlay. In my case, have Android as well. All right, so go in, click, all set. Then you have those other connections that you have in here. There, I still need to check all those things connect to the card. Then you have those other connections that is going directly to your radio, like that one. Then you have the USB for the code that goes in the card. And you have these other connectors. You kind of just have to look for it, and when you see it fit, that's kind of where it goes. And this one as well. Right there. All the other ones get connected to the vehicle. This one is the one connects right here. Then these are the little one connects. I'm not sure about this one, but I have it fits, and pretty straightforward. And this one's right there, so we're gonna look for that. Then you have USB. Right, they're connecting here as well, and that's pretty much it. So right here in the structures, it tells you exactly what you need to connect: the power cable, the camera, and also give you a little warning: a reverse trigger wire. Please do not. Please note that reverse trigger wire C must be connected to C1. So this is what they're talking about right here. If you look at it, you have a C2 right here, which is not connected to anything, but this one right here, connect C2 wire, which is connected right here. That's how you trigger when you do hit reverse the camera on the radio. All right, that's that part. Those are just double checking the connections to just make sure everything works. We're gonna go from that's the radio itself. So I'm gonna start running cables in the car. I know I said that before, but I want to make sure I know how the connections in here are gonna work first on the radio before I start running the cables, and I'll let you guys know what's next. Okay, so I ran the GPS cable, and how I ran it is basically just to keep it outside of the trim. I removed this. Before you mess up with anything that has to do with airbags, please disconnect your battery. So I disconnect my battery, and then I came here, pull the seal rubber. Right now I have it put in here. I need to see the signal first, so I'm not gonna attach this until the end. If not, I'm gonna move it up here somewhere. Cable is not all that long, but I think it should reach. And then how I ran it from here to here. All right, so I removed the rubber, came here. I removed the gloss, removed the little cover for the air filter. All right, so and then I use a cable to run from here this way to come right here. You guys can see it right here. So then I run it in right here, and then I run it that way so they can come out somewhere around there. So if you guys can see, I want to pull the cable. That's the cable right there. You see it? All right. So that's that. That's the cable right there. And then right here, I push it from here to this side, and then come out, and then I just pull it, and that's the cable. All right, so next that we're gonna do is I'm not gonna use this microphone. If you already have a aftermarket radio on your card, you know this microphone's terrible. So, but also if you guys know, when you change an aftermarket, the microphone on your vehicle is not gonna work anymore. So I'm going to look for a solution into that. I've seen a couple of videos with the more high-end microphone to that, so I'm going to work on that to see what I can find. But I think that one is terrible. I will not know it 100% until I test it. I'm going to connect it and test it just to make sure. But next step is just to make sure these are going to be secure. I'm going to attach everything with the bolts and everything. I attach the bracket, so then I can go ahead and attach the face and start connecting cables and do the next steps. So this is what I have done so far. All right, if you guys remember, that's the other part that I need to connect. So it's gonna be connected this wire, this one right here, the brake wire to the brake wire in here. I also was reading, and it says the C2 cable. You'll also mention that you have a C1 that is connected, and it says if when you do reverse in your car and it doesn't trigger the camera, you need to switch it into C2. All right, so this is the ones that I'm going to use to secure those cables. These things. So you basically insert on one side, you insert the other one on another side. This is how they're going to touch, and then you heat this up and they seal. So we're going to start connecting the brackets. This we can connect this face. After we secure the air vents, we're going to go from there. This antenna can actually just be put on top of it. They don't need to go all the way to the top. The 4G antenna, they can just be connected or glue it right there, and even to the dash and the outside of the dash. I'll show you guys when we get to that. But right now I'm going to secure this cable, start putting the brackets so I can put the face up, and then we're going to start connecting the radio. Okay. Gonna jump. I've been jumping in power because trying to figure this out. But now one thing that we need to do is we need to remove this piece of plastic, right? And how do you remove it is basically those tabs back here. You just have to press it and pull it at the same time, and you see this thing comes up. So we're gonna take that, even with this piece right here, we're gonna take all that off, and kind of work into the rest of the device, the infotainment, to see what do we need to do next. I'm gonna take this off. All right, so the PC you remove from the radio. All right, that's how you remove it, by pressing this two tabs on both sides, and then it comes out. This is the one that it was connected to the radio part of it. So you're just gonna connect back into it, and that's where you keep it. All right, so now what we're gonna do is make sure these are gonna be well placed. This one's right here. Sponges are gonna be, good and set. We're gonna secure them here with the Phillips screw. We're gonna secure them here with the bolt, 10 millimeter. And then once we get that done, we should be able to start connecting cables and doing all those things. So I'm gonna secure this again, and then I'll be right back. Okay, the bracket has been secure in there. As you guys can see, I secured the vents. And then you put the bracket. You have to follow the same way of the kind of like a template, same shape, so you can actually secure it and fit the dot. And then if you guys can see that here is a little cut that kind of fits with the AC vent. This is the 4G antenna. So the 4G antenna, actually the only thing you guys can need to do is go right here, stick it, remove that, stick it in there, or actually stick it up here. Whatever you find the flat surface that this can attach. And that's pretty much it. That's all you need to do. You don't need to go all the way around and nothing like that. So that's what we got. All right, so, and there's this little brackets. They're gonna be attached to the face. So this thing, right? You have the little holes in there. And I use this bolt, these screws. And then, I don't know if you guys can see, but the bracket have a little sign in there that tells you this is a left and this is a right. So we're gonna attach them to this. All right, so this is how you attach the bracket. All right, screws. I was trying to figure it out. What's the right and the left side in here? But apparently here on the top you have a sign that says CVR and CVO, so I attached the bracket with the letter to that side. So basically that's how it looks. All right, move on, next. Okay, so now we're gonna switch into attaching all these connections to this to proceed to attaching it to the radio. So again, it's just a game to make those connections fit with the ones that showing in here, and then after that you should be good. Each one of them is gonna have their own set of guides. So for example, this one right here and this one, they're not gonna fit because these lines are a little wider than this one, but this one will fit in this one because the lines match, right? So there's no wrong connecting cables. So you're just gonna have to start attaching those cables to this, and next we're gonna connect it to the card and test it before we even secure it, so to make sure everything works. So I'm gonna start connecting these cables now. Alright, so on the set of connections, the package. Alright, so you're gonna connect 4 of them. That's 1, 2, the black one, 3, right, and this one right here, 4. Those are the 4 that you need to connect. You still need to connect these other ones. We're gonna move into those, but we're gonna connect those now. This one, the one that you got out of the radio, right, that connects right here. We're gonna proceed with the next connections. The USB adapter comes in, connects to that gray one right there, and then the cable connects, the USB connects to that. Alright, then we have this adapter, which is just the power to the new unit. That connects right there. This other one connects right there. So this one comes for the cables. They come right here, which is from the face, right? This one's right here. We have the other one already connected to that. So, and then this one is gonna connect to that one up there through the back. Right, we have our other cables for antenna and GPS. This is the antenna, goes to the radio. Here, you guys can see that has auxiliary line in, left auxiliary right in. It's gonna connect to this piece, to the auxiliary right in and left in. There's a cam pin. It needs to be connected to that one right there. Alright, so I think I pretty much have everything connected. I'm going to connect the radio and test it, make sure everything works before I move on. Okay, I think I'm ready to connect and test, so I'm gonna run just a quick summary of what we have done so far. GPS is right there. I've run it through here. I'm gonna see where we're gonna attach it and see the signal, how good the signal is gonna be. The antenna, the 4G antenna, I actually attach it. I don't know, you guys can see it down there. I removed the red peel for the 3M tape, and I kind of glue it right here, which is basically in here. So I glue it right there. Here's the connection. Here's the other connection for the I have to find a connection for the antenna. I think it went in, but it looks very similar to this. So this is the GPS, like this. Sorry, this is the GPS. Actually, it's right here, right? The USB, the USB that connects right here. I run it to the back, and then that is a USB cable that connects to the other USB cable, the single one that comes here. Right, that one right there. The other 2 USB cables, I don't know if you guys can see them. They're right here. I'm gonna figure out where I'm gonna put it later, but this is what they are right now. This is for the SIM card. Alright. This is the microphone. Actually, I connected the radio a few minutes ago just to test it, and I test the microphone. I make a phone call and I was surprised because they hear me pretty good with this microphone. So I'm gonna use it for a little bit and see what happens before I start looking for something different. But so far that's what we got with that microphone. And then you start connecting the things, right? So you got those connections for the kids. We already went over that. You have those red and white connections. You have the yellow connection, and you have all those things. This is the cable that goes connected to the AC and controls in here. So that's all the cables that you got connected. Then you have the connectors that come from the face. You have this, the black, which is this one that comes out of the radio that you have to remove from the side of the radio. Connects right here. This other one in place connects to the power out here, or whatever the connection is. I'm assuming it's power because of the colors. All right. Then I have this too. Here, the square, the white plug needs to be connected to the optical behind the radio. Pretty much everything is connected. All right, so push all the cables in. I'm gonna run push the cables back, monitor, connect the radio, and test it. Okay, so push all the cables in, set the display, and secure. I know there is 2 screws that need to be secured back there, if you can see it. So 2 screws, secure it. I see a reflection of the sun in there, so that's pretty much how it looks. I like it. It's a bigger screen. I'm going to drive for a little bit to see how it's gonna impact on the vision on the front. It's gonna be a lot of customization that needs to be done. That's gonna require some time as well, just to get to know the system and what kind of settings you need to do. You guys can see so far what I got it is, if you open the door, it tells you right now I have the hood open. I just opened my side door. As you guys can see, that when you turn the air conditioning, the AC, it changed. Because this one doesn't have anything digital, it is not going to work when you touch the screen. All right, but even if it's digital, I don't know if it's gonna work, but it's a nice feature to show you whether they have. Right now it's off. Turn the AC on. The AC is on, the dual, and you know, all those kind of settings they have. Right now it's off, so it grades out. It says hi. I don't have all those features in there. See also when you change this to different setups, the radio is not going to change, right? When you this settings, it changed on the top, if you can see. The rear defrost also on and off, and the temperature doesn't work either because it's a knob. So now you can see the fan also works. The fan, the amount of air is coming out of those vents is pretty good, so that works. So that's more informational than anything else. The USB down here, which is connected for directly to the old radio, so the OEM radio, for CarPlay, it works. I've already connected to my phone and it works. You guys give me a second, I can show you guys. Controls from the radio works. When I use the radio, it worked pretty good. That's the voice, the mode. It did.
We'll be there for you to enjoy, courtesy of ESPN Plus.
So this switch into the radio. Alright, very nice. I hit the mode again, and it's not going through the the options. My camera I tested. I told you guys that I have a front camera, so this is my front camera. I have access to my rear camera right there. I'm gonna remove the lines that comes with the radio so I can keep those, but I did not know this. When I turn, it turns those lines, so it must be useful. So right now I'm gonna leave it like that. This is what I got so far. The last thing that I need is just to put the sides, and I'm pretty much done. So the only thing that I need to do is master this infotainment settings, so I can customize it for what I want, or what I to my liking, and then I'm gonna make another video for that. But I did connect it to Apple CarPlay and it works great, but I was messing with this thing so much that I kind of got screwed up, so I reset those settings to factory again to start all over. But that's how I'm going to learn how to use the system, by play and then resetting it again until I get what I want. So all right, let me know, guys, what you think. I like it. I like the size. As it gets more into it, I will make that video that I mentioned about the system. I don't need my iPad anymore. So all right, so let me know what you guys think.